Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Ashley's Treasure, and today for the ABC April collaboration I am doing the letter G, and this time I'm going to I got some scrap paper to use up and I want to use gesso and I want to make them grungy, so I'm going for grungy and gesso. I'm trying to do two in one. So I'm going to put this cardstock. I have scraps of it and it's kind of like an off-white. You can kind of tell the difference compared to the white gesso, and I'm going to use some corner punch for the tags. I'm going to use my trimmer to adjust the size, how big and wide I want them. I'm going to use my silicone brush for the gesso. I'm going to use my Versifine Black Ink. I'm also planning on using some paint. I definitely want to use this light gray and possibly this medium gray, maybe. And then I was debating between which one of these inks. I'm thinking Frayed Burlap, possibly Vintage Photo, but I'm thinking Frayed Burlap. And Antique Linnen I definitely want to use. And then I definitely need to use the Versifine ink for two parts. I'm going to be stamping numbers, lots and lots of numbers. So this one's kind of like a replica of Tim Holtz that I got from Temu. This one as well, I really liked these numbers that are in it. And then these ones have like all like measuring tape, so that has a lot of numbers. This one as well. And then there's like another one that, yeah, these big grungy ones. I like these ones. So that's what I was going to go for first. And then I was looking for large plants. I was thinking possibly these ones, but I think I only used one. The other ones were too small. This one I think is big enough that might work. Possibly the other ones, but I think those ones are too small. Because I'm going for big flowers like this. This one I'm really excited about. I think I can use the plant. I don't know if the berry one's big enough or not. And then I thought possibly some mushrooms, because there were a couple that were kind of big, like that one, and then one on the top left. Here you can see a little bit better now. I love those ones. And definitely want to use this large flower right there. I think that's like perfect what I was looking for. This leaf. And then that one. I don't know. I think these ones are going to be too small. And then I definitely want to use this one for, you know, how it has like figure 1, figure 2, and some like numbers on it to add as well. This is like a replica of Tim Holtz too. Like that. I don't know what they call this one, but it was like field notes. I love this one. So here I'm going to start with the scraps of cardstock that I have, and kind of some of them aren't cut straight, so I'm just kind of straightening them out. And using just what I have. I'm not really measuring per se. Some of them I made a little bit thinner because it's kind of hard to make a tag that thick. This one had some marker on it somehow, so I wanted to make sure that was off. I wasn't worried about the corner because I knew I was going to trim that with my corner punch. And then this one I was just going to cut in half, but I wanted to make sure that it was long enough to fit that one flower that I'm really excited about using. And now I'm going to start punching the corners off with my corner punch. I used the largest one on there. I kept using this as like a stationary, you know, one step at a time instead of doing one at a time. I did everything in steps. And now I'm just going to use random numbers and doing it in different angles too, and filling up. This is going to be like the background of the tag. This one was really great because it had so many numbers already in it as one stamp. That made it very easy. And here I'm doing that one sideways. Some of them I did right side up, you know. This one was really great too, to have some small ones to fill in. Off to the next one. I really love these large ones because they were like grungy looking, which goes perfect with the letter G. And I even had this one that was like 3/4 and 1/2 stamp. I thought that was kind of cool too. And this time, instead of taking them off, I just used the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, all the way down. I just used it as one big stamp because those are separate. but I just went straight for it, and that was perfect. But yeah, I just kept randomly going around, finding different numbers, filling in little spots. But you'll see later, like, this is just going to be the first layer of the background. And then I started realizing I should probably have something behind this so I can stop getting ink on my desk. So I just tore a page out of a Reader's Digest that I've been using up. And the whole tag didn't have to be filled up, but just enough to make it a background. I really love these measuring tapes and using it on the side. Alright, now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And so I got them ready to go. Now it's time for the gesso. So I'm using my silicone brush. I absolutely love it. It's so much easier than actual paintbrushes. And just spreading it all over. And it tones it down. So so the first layer was stamping, and now the second layer is adding gesso to it to tone it down. And just doing it randomly, but not too thick, you know, but it does leave like some streaks, but not completely. But I kind of liked being, because I'm going for a grungy look, I kind of liked having some streaks, you know, of the gesso on it. So some of them I just kind of slapped it on there and did it all different angles and everything to add some more texture to it. Yeah, but for this video, I was doing, because of it being on Tuesday, and I haven't since I've been doing this month. I haven't done any of my Tag Tuesdays, so I thought this was kind of like the old saying, kill two birds with one stone. So I was doing Tag Tuesday and ABC April 2025 collaboration all in one, and then for the letter G, making it grungy and using gesso, so it got like 2 G's. So I was trying to go all out on this video. Alright, now it's time for the paint. I just put a tiny bit in this plastic packaging piece that I've been reusing, and I'm just kind of going back and forth, just doing little dabs. It just needs a very small, and I'm just rubbing it in really good until it pretty much dries. Like, I'm just using little tiny bits and kind of just a little bit here, a little bit there, kind of making it look dirty, grungy, you know, and keep switching back and forth from the dark and the light and just rubbing it in. And it also helped highlight some of the strokes of the gesso to make it stand out more. That made it look even more grungy and gave more texture to it. But I'm not covering the whole tag. I'm just doing little bits here and there. And it just takes a tiny little tab. It does not take a lot. Another thing I've realized is mass making things like this really saves time. It seems like whenever I'm just making one tag, it takes like an hour. But like when I do a system like this, I get like 9 or 10 done in the same amount of time, it feels like. So I used to always hoard things and wanted to save it for just the right project, but I started doing more of the mass making, and it feels great being able to make so much at once. And I feel like I'm saving time, getting more done with less time. And then also, it's really great having everything like projects ready to go in your journals. It really feels good already having something to start off from instead of starting from scratch. And I think that helps not getting overwhelmed with it too and getting done with the project sooner. Okay, so now since I added some paint, both the paints on there, now there's some spots I'm going to add more gesso because some of the numbers are still too dark. I want to tone it down a little bit more. And some parts I think there was too much of the paint that I want to tone that down too. So that's the great thing about gesso is if you don't like it, just put some gesso over it to start over and do it over. Oh, and that was the other thing that's great about gesso. There's two different kinds. There's clear gesso and white gesso. Um, Either one of them is great. It depends. Like you can use the clear gesso if you want to keep that color that you have underneath it. Like if I was stamping and then put gesso over it, it would keep that color like that. And then you can paint over it. And when you add paint to it, you get that color. Unlike putting, if I put that paint right on that colored cardstock, the tone would be different. But because of putting that gesso as like a seal on top of it, you get the actual color to pop out. So yeah, I'm just doing little blobs here and there. Some parts darker and lighter, working it in. That part with that, yeah, those numbers were way too dark still because I don't want them to stand out. It's just the background. They're not the focal point, so I don't want them to stand out too much. I'm just making my own grungy background right now. All right, now I'm figuring out which stamps, large stamps, to use on which tag. I absolutely love this flower. This is the one that really made me want to do this, and it turned out perfect. So I already got them picked out which ones I'm going to do on which one. And this one, I started putting the ink on. And I'm like, wow, this one's really dark. Like you can see the details in the stamp, but I'm like, why is this so dark? So I'm like, let me test this on this book page first. I'm like, it's just one big blob. Like, what is wrong with this? So I rub it off and found out I put it on backwards. That's the back of the stamp, not the front of the stamp. So thank God that I tested on this book page first before doing it on the tag. Granted, when I stamped it, I didn't press enough in the center that it didn't completely come out right, but that's okay. I tried to realign it, which was a little bit off. So then, like, see, it's a little bit off, but I still couldn't get that center part right there. I think it's because the tags were a little bit warped because of all the paint I have on it right now. It wasn't perfectly flat, so I think that had something to do with it. But that's okay because I am going for a grungy look. It doesn't have to be crystal clear and perfect, you know. I want it distressed looking. And then, so this one, I tried to or press the back of it, but it was starting to fall off, and I accidentally like hit the stamp on it again, so it kind of double stamped in a way a little bit. But I kept picking it up, trying to pick it because it was sticking onto the stamp, so I tried turning it around and pressing it from behind on so that it would go on clearly. But now I'm going to go, and I picked out numbers to go on there, so it'd kind of be like their description number, like doing specimens or something kind of like it. Because I didn't have names of the flowers, so I was just going for like numbers. And that one I put filed over it. These ones are just like Tim Holtz. I love these. And I did end up using 2 of the mushrooms. This one I'm going to put that little file number or saying on the top as well. And then the mushrooms, I'm going to use the little figure 1, figure 2. I'm doing the first one on the first one, and then I'm going to use figure 3 on the other mushroom. I love that. That looks so great. Alright, and some of them I'm going to trim down because the stamps were small, so it seemed like the tag was too big for it. So a couple of them I'm going to trim down a little bit, like this one, and I think there's one more, I think. Yeah, this one I'm going to trim down a little bit. I think that looks better now. Alright, now I'm going to use the antique linen, and I'm going to add another layer to distress. So I got the 2 grays, I got the stamp, the gesso, then the 2 grays, and then more gesso, and now antique linen. And there's still more. There's going to be more. But yeah, I'm just kind of blotching little bits here and there, giving it some more grunge. In all the Tim Holtz distress inks that I used all the oxides this time. Once I started using the antique linen, it made like a huge difference. Like it made me know that it needed more browns and less black, white, and gray. It definitely made it look more grungy. Alright, now it is time to distress the edges, and I did end up using the Frayed Burlap. The vintage photo seemed too dark, and I liked the Frayed Burlap, that brown with the antique linen. I think it went well with it. And I didn't want too dark of a distress around the edges. So this one's like a lighter brown, and it fit perfectly. So I'm just going around, just giving a light distress around the edges. Almost done, got 2 left. One more, last one. Alright, so now I'm going to use my hole reinforcer and punch holes in the tags. You always need a hole in it. And I'm using the larger hole in this one. And now I am taking a risk and taking the tea dye out and blotching around it, and that it needed that to blend the frayed burlap and the antique linen out. This is like an in-between tone, and that really brought them two together, and that's what topped off. That was the missing piece that it needed. And here I'm just doing little blotches here and there and distressing it. This one I think I should have made a little thinner, but it was too late because I already made the hole in it. Alright, and then here is what they look like at the end. Look how cool this is, and you can see the numbers in the background, just all the grungy distress to it. I love these. It was really fun having it in stations like that. I love that one. I think that one's my favorite. That one I accidentally dropped the stamp on. This one I think I should have made it more narrow, but I already got the hole in it, so it's too late, but that's okay. It's still good. And this one I like so much I had to use it twice. That was my mess up, but it's not bad. It's supposed to look grungy, right? You should definitely try this out. This was really fun and definitely got my grunge in. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.